Hello, today we're going to talk about three highly popular JavaScript libraries and frameworks: Angular, React, and Vue. We're going to explore why they were developed and what issues they solve. My name is Mohammed and I am front-end developer at Yuka Labs. Angular, React, and Vue.js evolved because of growing complexity in front-end development. They help developers build dynamic, complex, and reactive apps, not only for the web. Now with libraries like React Native, Ionic, or NativeScript, you can even build native mobile applications using them. With this in mind, let's go a few years back. From the first hand, without using these tools, the internet would mainly serve static pages for each URL. But with the growing app ecosystem on mobile, developers try to achieve a more application-like feeling for websites. Facebook is probably one of the easiest examples here. They integrated live chat at some point, and instead of loading and delivering a full page on each request, the chat would deliver data without reloading the page. On the other hand, if you use only jQuery to update the DOM based on your API responses, you have to check manually which parts actually have to be updated, or if the chat probably is already up to date. And you do not want to do unnecessary DOM manipulations since they consume additional resources. Furthermore, because this process has to be done every few seconds to keep the DOM in sync with the database, it makes sense to implement an algorithm which automatically syncs a data object in the DOM by asynchronously loading the data from a backend service and manipulating the DOM without reloading the page. This way you can concentrate on business logic instead of DOM manipulations. In fact, since you only request the page once and load all data asynchronously, they are also called single-page application frameworks. Generally, this is what these tools do. They use virtual DOM for comparison of states and coordinate the exchange of data with the backend services in ways that would be totally impractical by hand. At the same time, they also solve some of the common issues like routing, security, state management, and cross-browser compatibility, which would otherwise consume a huge amount of your development time if you decide to go the vanilla JavaScript route. In almost every project you will work on, no matter how big or small, you will need those important features to rapidly develop and ship your application. Now, what are these features? First, Angular makes it easier for you by including out of the box the tools you need. It doesn't only offer DOM manipulations, it also adds the above-mentioned features to help you with any specifics you could require in apps you're working on. Second, where Angular gives you everything out of the box, React gives you the best possible UI rendering library. But it does not include a built-in form validation support, nor a router, making it definitely slimmer than Angular. For the other tools, which you will also need eventually, you will have to rely on the very active React community. This active community developed solutions in extra packages you can add to your projects like the React Router, Redux, and Formic. Last but not least, Vue is adored by the people who use it. It does give you built-in state management, and it also ships with a built-in router. It does, however, not include form validation or HTTP client functionalities. Out of the three, I think Vue is probably the framework that is easiest to learn. And the reason is because Vue uses just JavaScript and HTML. There is no special syntax you need to learn first. You kind of boost your HTML with directives like v-for and v-on, and those are pretty self-explanatory. In brief, at Yuka Labs, we use all three frameworks in our team because each of them has its own advantages. We think Angular is very robust and ideal for complex and rich applications. Surely React is more flexible and is a great solution for content-oriented and cross-platform applications. Otherwise, Vue is the most flexible and lightweight framework that is gaining popularity and is suitable for fast MVP development. Well, you've reached the end of another episode of Yuka Labs mini-series podcast. We've covered three highly popular JavaScript libraries and frameworks, why they were developed, and what issues they solve. Tell us what frameworks you prefer using and why. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode.